but then it's good we get a different crowd in on Monday nights too. Do some
Yeah,
things
that
around.
might vary a bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Good. Alrighty. Seem to be running fine.
Yeah, now it feels like it's Sunday on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it'll be, and then we'll be, it'll only be a 1 day break before Legends of Lore.
Yep.
So. Start hitting this up and go from there.
Your repurposed freighter drifts through space. As you stare
Chuck told
out
me
at the
he was
star-flecked
pretty ill.
void,
I haven't talked
another
to
ship
him.
comes in. Wait,
Oh,
is this
after
sci-fi? I thought
Game
we
Hall?
agreed on a World War
No,
II campaign.
no. He went to something the week
Did we?
before last in
That's cool.
like
I can pay.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I haven't
smell
heard
of
from him in
smoke
about a week
curdles
yet,
in your
no.
nostrils.
Hold
as
up,
I hope
thought
he
we were
didn't get
prepping
what
for a
I got.
zombie apocalypse campaign.
I don't know. Stephen Redding McFarlane's been real sick too.
All right, here's what we're doing. It's the year 3700.
So that
Humanity's
goes.
elite fled to other planets long ago, taking with them all forms of advanced technology. Earth survivors scrape by with historic tools as weird phenomena plague abandoned nuclear sites. Witnesses report seeing glowing lights and the dead rising from their graves. And amidst the chaos, 3 strangers will meet in a dim
What's
bar.
up, Jagger
A
here?
veteran zombie slayer, a disgraced general out for revenge, and a space mercenary sent to investigate the power plants. Now describe your characters. How did you do that?
See what kind of
I have the right tools for the job.
show up we get on Monday. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, well that's cool. I didn't realize it was the Grey Cup. Thanks, Eric. Their giveaway's fine.
Great.
Yeah, no
Cup
problem.
that-
No problem moving it to Monday. It just makes sense. Hey, Rory. Made sense this week.
A story once spoken is ageless. The dungeon imagined without end. The curious are the ones most courageous. The tree that endures has to bend. From stillness, the mad mage.
I'm getting
is
better,
slain.
so I'm doing okay.
From countless voices, the castle takes shape.
Getting
Yep.
better is important.
Zage built us,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
endure. Those
I'm still
unlucky
coughing a little bit
will
and
never
runny nose a bit,
escape.
but I feel good, so no worries. Thank you. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds really rough for you. Just a rough one. That's the most yeah, I think I've ever seen you.
Yeah, it was bad, and it dragged on for weeks. So my guess is that it was COVID, but I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy. Jeremy, did you get my message? Ed is in. I know that's probably gonna be a tough weekend. We got Ed 2 nights. Yeah, we got Ed 2 nights in a row coming up.
Yeah?
The Saturday night, and the Sunday night after Thanksgiving. Yeah. We'll talk about that tonight. Yeah. That's wrong. Always hit that wrong one.
Your
That's
repurposed
wrong
freighter
too.
drifts through space.
Oh my gosh.
As you
That's
stare
that
at
one.
POV, I had 30 minutes before my campaign
button.
group showed up, and I was totally unprepared. I grabbed my Ready Set Encounter box and boom, everything I needed for an epic session. Adventure hooks, map tiles, loot tables, stat blocks, and miniatures, all ready to go. My players still think I spent hours planning our Great Dragon encounter. If you're a busy dungeon master, get Ready Set Encounter live now on Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's what
POV, I had 30 minutes before my campaign group showed up, and I was totally unprepared.
Oh, there we go.
I grabbed my Ready
Tony
Set
just sent
Encounter
me
box
something.
and boom, everything
Right.
I needed for an epic
Okay.
session. Adventure hooks, map
There it
tiles,
is.
loot tables, stat blocks, and miniatures, all ready to go. My players still think I spent hours planning our Great Dragon encounter. If you're a busy dungeon master, get Ready Set Encounter live now on Kickstarter.
Here, I'm responding to Tony in chat right now. Now I already got 5. So I already got 5 for that, so. Yeah, she said looks like you guys are good, so. Hey, Mike.
Hello.
Mike, I need to talk to you. I'm gonna send you a message. Discord message coming to you, Mike. Headset. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's Monday night once you get, it's different. Yeah, she did, man. She did. I just looked in the Discord and it just came up. Oh, that'd be awesome. All right. Well, I remember Mysterious Tim come on at some point. It's actually was on his way home from work. He kind of got stuck getting the bad guys,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, they don't take vacation, so
It takes yeah, I guess so, but yeah, it'll be a quick one though, because I don't want Ed sitting around for a long time, or Jeremy, the beginning part. Because Ed got, Ed got a little, yes. That'll be a quick rescue. Actually, I think a little comical too. I just guzzled my coffee. Come alive. 3 minutes early, it's alright. It's a Monday. Woohoo! Well, I guess this will count toward this in the week. Normally, this finishes up the week. I see Sunday is the end of the stream week, but this is like a Monday,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
we'll
So
have
it will
some
be.
extra. Does he want to be rescued? Well, Jeremy, yes and no. But we'll find that out in the course of gameplay pretty quickly there. So, and it's good to see you, Mike, Disney as
Mm-hmm.
well. Hope everyone's doing well. Um, you know, Sunday Night Football. My wife would kick my ass if I. Plus, I wanted to watch it anyway, and they won, which is good. So, and I didn't know that it was the Grey Cup final for Canada. So for you Canadians, like really, it's good. Monday night. It's good to throw it in sometime on Monday night. Get some different
Mm-hmm.
viewers in who can't
Yeah.
make Sunday evenings. So, but I've been doing a lot of adding in other deities like recently, even though I
Mm-hmm.
had, just because of the warlock subplot and all. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go and
Mm-hmm.
let's go take a
You've
look at
been
them.
much more. This is something where you experimented way more than I have, I
Way
think.
more.
Yeah, when it comes to taking, yeah, I've experimented on the small scale, not on the big scale
Mhm.
that much.
And but mine was out of necessity to start.
Okay, well, yeah, because there were you started so early, there were no Greyhawk
Yeah, there were
gods
no Greyhawk gods.
published. Yeah.
And there were no Greyhawk gods when Gary Gygax started. And
No, he had to exactly. He had to. Yeah.
He used their first two deities were Odin and Thor.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first two that they used. So it's not like there's no precedent there. But you know, and the books come out, the deities and demigods early on. And by the way, so not to start, no, we're talking about at the very beginning, Rory. He did not. There were no deities. Also, this is my bad copy. My good copy on the shelf upstairs isn't coming up. I don't trust myself. Pristine, cracked, first print. I'm not. That stays on the shelf upstairs. But here's my working Deities and Demigods copy. I don't know what print this was, but this is my original one. I don't know if it says. I don't know. I don't know where it would say that, but what year was it? This is an 80. So this is I'm what 12, 13 years old
Mm-hmm.
when this comes out. I got to wait 3 years before I got Greyhawk Deities. Now there may have been some that have started to filter out a little bit into the like in Dragon Magazine, but I'm not buying Dragon Magazine every month. I'm 12, 13 years old.
I think it took a couple of years after that before they started to have a lot of Greyhawk deities in there. At least the folio and the box set came out. That's when they had started
box
to.
Set 1980 folio had 0 deities in it.
Exactly. So it was after that. So it was early to mid 80s. That's when it's the cauldron opened, so to speak, or it was brewing, and TSR they were doing stuff at TSR, and I forgot, it was Gary or was it a lot of other people who published Greyhawk deities too? Meaning we know Len was involved in the Sewell ones and others. So
that's a good question. Who did which ones? But and a lot of them came out more and more and more and more, and then getting out the third edition, there's so many that.
It exploded and continued to explode. But one of the things that I was disappointed with when I got deities and demigods was not the scope and the number of deities or anything like that. It was that they were basically treated as monsters. They came with a stat block and a little description.
Yeah.
And that to me is the meaning. How many hit points and the armor class and stuff like that of a god is the least interesting, or should be, because that's something that you should in my opinion, almost when you need an armor class for a deity, you're kind of doing it wrong, so to speak.
Right. And I have a feeling they didn't know how else to do it.
Exactly. That was the thing. They were into monster books and they were like, oh, you need to fight the god, so to speak. But I'm more interested in how the god function in the world and how they influence things and their meaning. Do they run a cult? Do they run an organized religion and stuff like that? Meaning all the stuff around the being itself. And and I can also see that some gods are not even physical beings, meaning you
Right.
worship the sun or something like that. And will the sun come down and fight you? No, not really. So meaning that's where I see a lot of interesting fantasy openings from literature and movies and stories and
Right.
legends and stuff. So meaning Sauron in the Lord of the Rings, I can see as a deity kind of because he's just out there somewhere. He was physical that and then kind of lost and just a force to be reckoned with rather than a physical shape. He has it in some parts of the story, but when it comes to the trilogy, then he's more like an evil force that is looking out at the world from his tower and like the evil eye and stuff like that. So that to me is more fantastic. I like gods that are present, but not in a physical form, not something you can see walking around. But some of them should be that way too. Meaning you should have Farlangen or someone, they could be the ones walking around and doing things. So some gods should be that way, but others should be just a phenomena. I like that religion is more ambiguous and multifaceted and stuff. And demigod was a disappointment in that department
Well,
to
I
me.
don't.
Yeah.
They're still feeling their way, and they gotta go. Well, how are we
Oh,
gonna
exactly. I
quantify
I
this?
totally get it. And I
Yeah.
wasn't, it was more like, and I didn't know what to, it was like disappointment, but I didn't know what I wanted instead. But what I
Right.
got was not really what I wanted. So yeah.
And you got demons and devils and a lot of the other
Hmm.
books and all sorts of other
Yeah.
things, and
Yeah.
it's
And
just
that's the other thing, meaning I don't see them as different, meaning demon lords and stuff. I see them as deities, just like the other deities. No difference.
right. Now, here's some things
Yeah.
that you may not know. Some of these deities in here are Greyhawk deities,
Hmm.
which is surprising, like especially where I am right now. And I wanted to point that out that there are at least two I know of. Harold Johnson used, and that's right in the Mexican American Indian area. Let me go to Mexican, I think. And that you got Camazotz, the bat god, right? And Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah. Meaning we have the Olmens and others
Right,
who
right. I
yeah.
mean, they're
Hmm.
actually used. So it's not
Oh
like
yeah.
there's not precedent for. And so let me let's see.
Yeah.
It's under. So I think it's under Mexican. There's not a precedent for that. Oh, you can't utilize these in Greyhawk. Well, that happens,
Hmm.
and so that Harold is also thinking the same way back then. With he's using because there's no Greyhawk deities when he wrote Hidden Chamokan. There was no Greyhawk
Hmm.
deities, so he's like, well, where am I going? What deities am I going to use? Well, he uses them out of here. Wait a minute. Oh my God. So many. Is that Nawan? That's Melnibonian. Nawan. I forget where. I forget where
And
Camazotz is.
Livonian are Lankmarian gods, which I think is interesting because
Yeah.
they are there as a setting even more than Greyhawk.
Yep.
But that was because they were taken from what was it, Fritz Lieber's
Yep. Fritz
stories
Lieber's work,
straight. Yeah,
Japanese. There's
exactly
all
out of his
sorts.
books. Yep.
All sorts. Let me go to the table of contents here. Maybe it is under American Indian. So yeah. Oh, Central American. There it is. It's under C. Duh. 32. Just to show that here's so there's Quetzalcoatl. That's one. It's worshipped by the Olmen
Hmm.
in Greyhawk, and then Camazotz, the bat god, and that's the deity that basically Hingtran Tamoakan is around. Is that one? So there's two. There's probably others because I don't do much with
Yeah.
the Olmen or the what
Yeah.
Tulm. Yeah, the Tul. What's the other ones down there on the other side?
Oh, the yeah, you have the
The Tul begins with a T, doesn't it? I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, it
What
does.
deities they utilize as well, but
Hang on a
the
second. Now I
the
need to
two.
open.
Thanks, baby.
Yeah,
The
two
two
of yeah,
probably use
thank you.
some of those
Yep.
as well, but yeah, just
Yep.
so there's precedent for this from Harold Johnson. Yeah,
Hmm.
Jazarian. Okay, yep. Well, they may, some places they may have changed the names because they didn't want to have to worry
Which I
about
think
anything.
is kind of good. And we have another example, meaning we have Al-Akbar and stuff in the Bakluni that is taken straight from the Muslim
Right.
world,
And Alakbar's
which
nowhere to be found in this book, though. Right?
exactly, they're not in there, but they
Yeah.
came in Greyhawk, but to me that's too close to home. So I like it like what Joe Block did. He reskinned the Bakluni gods to make them like Baklunish rather than
I got it.
belonging to any real world religion, which I think it's good. But on the other hand, we have Cuthbert,
St. Cuthbert.
exactly, which is yeah.
It also doesn't appear in here anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So they but on the other hand, I can totally understand it because Greyhawk was so early. We didn't have that much precedent. The other precedent we had was earlier fantasy stories and books and stuff like Tolkien and Fritz Lieber and a few others. But as a role-playing game setting, Greyhawk was a pioneer. And it's hard to when you invent things to get you don't get it right away,
St.
so to
Patrick.
speak.
Yeah. Sorry. St. Cuthbert in Quebec. That's pretty cool. So
Oh,
here was
cool.
my dilemma back in the day. Now we're
Yeah.
young. We're just freshmen in high school or 8th grade, that era.
Mhm.
So I had them. They're allowed to pick any deity in this book, and normally it gravitated to Celtic and Finnish. They're the two, and we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
Celtic and Finnish, but I get these weird ones, and the weirdest one because Alan said, "Oh, it sounded neat." Alan had a character that worshipped Chung Kul, the god of truth and testing from the Chinese mythos. I'm like, okay, whatever. Because like I said, we're kids and we just don't know what we're doing. There's no Greyhawk deities, so yeah, that was just a fun one. But he has since changed that as we brought in more. As we brought the gods in. When and it took a while to meld them in, but once Celtics before. Sorry. I can't read. All right, so we'll start here. Okay, so when we first started, we had some, and they were more popular than others, and those stayed in my game. And it turns out I wasn't that far off because Ed was doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Okay, because he has a lot of Finnish as well in his Celtic and Finnish. Like his still is my leaky. And that's who Trissa worships is my
We have
leaky.
Balder and
Balder, yeah, Baldur's
Balder is
Gate,
an old
a whole
exactly. It's
bunch
an old
Norse,
Nordic exactly. So
yeah,
they're used
yeah,
because they are kind of fantasy-esque
yeah,
from today's perspective, so they fit really well in the fantasy world. So some
absolutely,
cultural appropriation is normal in fantasy.
yeah. And they were like they were like almost like I know maybe they were worshipped by the Norse back in the day, but it's like folklore now. It's not active worship of Thor.
Well, to some degree it
Yeah.
is actually. Yeah, but to some degree. But that
Right.
is more like a new revival, like New Age thing or something
Okay.
like that. Yeah, because they were well in Iceland, I think they are still in the Faroe Islands. They probably kept them the entire time. In the Scandinavian, Northern and Sweden and stuff, they were banned so long for hundreds of years that Christianity was forced originally and then became the state religion for 600 years. But on the other hand, the Nordics were Christianized the shortest. So it's bubbling back in music, in poetry, in culture. Yeah, it's always been there, so to speak. There are some heathen days always celebrated like midsummer and stuff like that. So it's always been there bubbling, so to speak. So it's never been completely forgotten.
That's good.
Yeah, but not believed in, but in the sense of an active religion. That was dead for a long time, but it's coming back to a little, but now it's more like it's cool.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, rather than
Understandable.
anything. So yeah.
So it's not we're not culturally appropriating anything.
No,
So
no, well, not really. You take in history, but on the other hand, I like it, so to speak. I like old Nordic history is interesting in that sense, and I think it too. So yeah, and
right,
we
exactly.
used a lot of it in our early campaigns. That wasn't Greyhawk that I played in. We used Old Norse. It was Odin and all of that stuff, so to speak. So that fits right in. So yeah. And we mixed in Middle Earth and Old Norse stuff. So it was
Oh,
hobbits and
Middle Earth
Odin and
stuff makes
stuff.
total sense.
Yeah. So
Early on.
we played like
Yeah.
pseudo Middle Earth with Nordic stuff mixed in. That was it.
We'll come back to this, and that is
Hmm.
the Wild Hunt. We'll come back to that because that is pretty big in my game, and it has been for years, which is
Yeah.
I think it's super super cool. Let's go here. We'll do Finnish and Norse first, and we'll do Celtic last here on the inside. Dun, 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 dun.
But it was so funny because I was also in the beginning I thought it was boring because this Old Norse history was something when you went in primary school they bored you to death with. They tortured you with it. So it took some years for me to get interested in it again because they dragged you to the local museum to
Right.
look at old stone axes, bronze axes, and all the stuff that I now find cool. But when I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, I felt it was the most boring thing I've ever seen. So, which is the irony. So I had to relearn regain my interest in this because I was kind of no skip that. I wanted synthesizer music and spaceships and airplanes when I grew up, not old stone axes and bronze axes and knights and stuff. I felt that was crappy and old and boring. Yeah.
Well, you had a unique perspective because you were from there, but like for me,
Exactly. Meaning we had castles and stuff. So
yeah,
meaning that they dragged us around to see all these ruins, and I wanted to see the new modern stuff.
the only
And it's
castle I
yeah.
had Anna near me was frickin' Brigantine Castle down the
Hmm.
shore.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
ride basically. That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a haunted house.
Yeah, and we went when we were second grade. We took an old steam train, the museum railway, to one of the medieval, the closest medieval castle that was close to where I live, a few miles away, and that was from 11th century, and it's mostly just a ruin. There's a couple of buildings left and so on, and we wandered around the whole day, and it was rainy and miserable. And I loved the train ride, but I hated everything else. But it was just old and crappy. Now I've gone there afterwards and learned the history, and it was
Mhm.
so much interesting. It was awesome, very very interesting. So I had to relearn it, but so it was kind of funny. And I was 15 when I started this, so I was kind of a reluctant
Yeah,
adopter of this stuff when I started, and then I've learned it and started to love it more and more, which is kind of interesting. Yeah,
so I got drawn right to the Finnish mythos because
yeah,
it was more based on the heroes over the gods.
mm-hmm,
So
yeah,
I really like the story, and the one thing Jim Ward did with this book, there's a lot of stories in it. There are
mm-hmm,
some good story based things, and there
yeah,
are magic items and stats and all. But like it says here, Finnish stories of this mythos are magnificently told in the Kalevala, the Finnish
yep,
national epic.
mm-hmm,
So
yep.
all right, now I don't know how much of this is correct or not.
Well, yeah, Kalevala, oh yeah, it's
yeah,
it's 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 based on
Norse.
poetry.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
based on
it's
poetry.
yeah, a bit like the Snorre Sturlason in Iceland. He wrote the Icelandic sagas
Okay,
that was written down in medieval times, and those were old ancient folklore and religion that was written down in poetry as poetry and stories a few years, hundreds of years later. The same thing happened in Finland. Sweden, we didn't get that much of that, so to speak, because and we some of it is we have to also remember that it was the same culture. Finland and Sweden belonged together for 6, 7, 800 years or something like that. So these were very similar areas. So a lot of these stories were everywhere, so to speak. So they were written down in Finnish in the Kalevala mythos and in on Iceland later on as
okay,
the Snorre Sturlason sagas, the Icelandic sagas. But and the reason that happened in Finland and Iceland is probably because Denmark and Sweden and Norway had most of the influence at the continent. We wanted our rulers and kings and warlords or whatever they're called, they Christianized. They wanted to belong to the new cool religion down on the continent. So they brought that in and they didn't want to have old stories being held up as something awesome. They wanted the new things. They wanted
okay.
to send people on crusades and build castles and be the new stuff. That they wanted to embrace the modernity at the time, so to speak. So that's why I think a lot of that disappeared. But there are still runestones and stuff found. So the locals didn't adopt to it, but the the culture kind of got hidden into, became a subversive culture in those areas, but it survived on the Faroe
Yeah,
Islands and
Gordon.
Iceland and Finland and stuff longer than it did in Sweden and Norway, and especially Denmark, because Denmark was closest to the continent. So
Right. Well, it was
yeah,
on. Yeah, it was
yeah,
technically on.
yeah, and it was also very diverse, meaning they spoke 4 or 5 different languages and all of that stuff. So, but this book, I think he captured it in a really good way
I
for
mean,
putting it into D&D. Yeah,
for me, I would sit there and I would just
yeah,
read the stories over and over again. I must have
yeah,
read the Wild Hunt one 100 times.
yeah,
I just thought it was so. I was like, how do I get this
yeah,
implemented in my game? Well,
yeah,
I did in we're
hmm
gonna say in 1988. The first time I used it. We can talk about that. So, but thank you. It's good to see you, man. Good to
yeah,
see you. So, but with the finish, this is where we start because it's like
hmm
the demi-human deities started to filter out, right? So we
hmm
kind of knew. I forget how. It could have been that article was out. We kind of knew that Alana was like a hybrid, a human ranger, half elven
yeah,
deity.
yeah,
So we're like, wow, we have one. And Corell
yeah,
Larethian's in here. We have two.
hmm yeah,
Little Fane Ralphil's here for the Sylvan Elves. We have three.
hmm
Lost
yeah,
here for the Dark Elves. We got four. And we got all, so the up for the Elven
hmm
ones. So we
yeah,
kind of got Elven deities, but we don't have any human deity. So where are we gonna go? Well, here we go.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Finish
here.
is good, and
It's here and finish. Yeah.
yeah, and Gary did the same. Mordenkainen is kind of a Finnish sounding name,
Yeah,
and
like
oh yeah,
Lemminkainen, right?
yeah,
And Venemoinen
yep,
and
yep,
right, yeah.
yep,
So yeah, absolutely. I didn't even think about that, Anna. That's a great
yep. Oh
point.
yeah, Mordenkainen sounds very Finnish
Yeah.
to me. Yep.
So here comes some of them. Now, a lot of these are some of these are Forgotten Realms official deities.
Yeah.
Ilmater
hmm
especially. Ilmater's a big deity in Forgotten Realms as well. Marco, all his Gradimus characters, the whole family are Ilmater worshippers. The goddess of mothers and suffering, right? So that's
hmm
so Ilmater is still, I got a specialty priest of Ilmater class. Remember, a lot of these have the specialty priest classes. So when they give you when that list comes together, hey man, enjoy. Uh, 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 that specialty priest list comes together. And people like Dale, like, what the hell is that? What the hell's Zuko doing on there? I was like, well, go on, dude. I'm not. That's one thing I refuse to do. I refuse to
Yep.
like, all, snap my finger on all the Winchesters worship someone else. I'm not doing that. So
Yeah.
just the way it is. But
Yeah.
it's my game. That's the
Oh
thing
yeah.
about it. It's not affecting or hurting anyone else.
No, you should take inspiration from real world, and also
Yeah.
look at both the elves and the giants and dwarfs and others and trolls and stuff. A lot of that inspiration comes from the Nordic too, from the same old Norse, Finnish,
Hmm.
other mythos and
Yeah.
stuff too. And there were giants in other mythos like ancient Greeks and Romans and others. They also taught it. So there was a lot of crossover and stuff. And there's like a rich history to dig into, so to speak. And both elves and dwarfs and trolls and stuff are into that. Gnomes and others are coming from here. So and elves and meaning Tolkien, he was a professor of ancient Nordic languages. That was his profession, and he took a lot of inspiration from there. So it's no wonder Midgard sounds and looks like it did. And from what I understand is that Elven was inspired by Finnish to a large degree too. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right, BB. If not the case, so Ilmater merged a little bit from this to what Forgotten Realms has her.
hmm
But hey, we've always had that in
Yeah.
that deity. Now next
Yeah.
over here is a deity I don't have a specialty priest for. I don't need, but is a vital part of the bad guys in my campaign, the Dark Brotherhood. It's one of two of the deities
hmm
worshipped by the Dark Brotherhood, and that's Heisi, the god of evil.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You
So
had to invent the specialty priest for all of this because
I did.
that didn't have come out in for second edition
No,
because
no.
yeah.
Once, and that added to the flavor. And the next
hmm
deity I'll show hugely. In fact, I brought the book just in case, but I I can show the abilities and stuff, but let me get it here and dig it out. Right. NPC specialty priests.
Yeah.
Because one of them. So this would be if I needed a specialty priest of Heisei, I'd make it up, but I don't. I don't, because the main bad guys in the Dark Brotherhood are not the priests and priestesses are not this. They are. I'm probably gonna get a 30-day ban for this picture. I don't care. Well, there's my leaky. My leaky's not as we don't need my leaky in my game, but my leaky, if someone wanted to, I'd let them be a my leaky priest. But here we go, and that is Leviator. Now Leviator's a deity in Forgotten Realms, 100%. A deity in Forgotten Realms, with the Maiden of Pain, and I love me some what the pain inflictors of them. So hey John, thanks man. All right, so here, let me see if I can bring this up. Thanks, Rascal. Thanks for pumping me up at the end of that game. It was a fun game on Saturday. I don't know if I have the Leviatar. I may only have it in. That's the spell list. Right, so Leviator has a huge spell list, but I'm looking on Priest of Leviator. I was hoping that popped up. Priest of Leviator. Just type that up. And that should have come up, but it's not. All right. Well, I was going to show it, but we got all the abilities that Leviator gets, and it's a specialty priest. But this is the spell list for Leviator, and they, major deity, and they are really, really cruel people. And I don't know, and I get a lot of flack sometimes. Always make them females.
Mm-hmm. You mean the bad guys, or
the priestess of the Leviator? Yeah, all the time.
okay? Well, yeah.
The head of the Dark Brotherhood, Holly, is
That's a tradition. Look at all the hags and all the mini.
Exactly.
Just look at the Old Norse. Most of the nasty critters you find out, a lot of them were, especially the ones that were luring you in, charming you to do bad deeds and luring you out in the forest so you got lost and stuff. And meaning we have nymphs and we have dryads and a whole bunch of stuff that can be really a lot of fey ones and so on, that they're female that are really difficult. So
now I know why, because I first did it that way, and then I got smart.
Mm-hmm.
Face and avatars.
Yep.
Let's go to page 104. Where's Lefan?
There's such a small text in modern that they try to cram in so much info that
oh my god,
the new stuff doesn't have half the information density that things had back then.
Eric Boyd told us why.
Mm-hmm.
He got paid by the word.
Yep.
So he just like, well, I'm going to crush in as much as I can. I'm going to make as much
money.
Yeah,
they have like
as much money as I can.
Yeah, they have like 8-point font size, and now they have like 20 or something in the new ones.
It's a great picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leviator on there, and a couple other deities.
Oh, that's a cool illustration. Yeah.
Yeah. The other deities are Zavaktu, Zim, and Talona. So in that picture, but all right. So here's their abilities. They call them, they're pain priests. So they get stuff like Whip of Flame, Dance of Pain, all sorts of disgusting stuff. Eye Bite, symbols of pain. They get some really disgusting things, and they get a whole bunch of spells. Hey Tino, if you go to Prayers from the Faithful, there's an entire book with more spells on them. So we have more than just these spells here: Dance of Pain, Whip of Pain, Leviator's Caress. Yeah, they make it sound. Because Eric wrote all these. So Eric is like, oh, these are Kiss of Torment. I know he's really Eric was a great at doing that. But so Leviator, I fell in love with Leviator early on, and I'm like, well, this is my main. Before I use priests running around. We do have priests of. I used more devils than demons back in the 1980 through 83. The Spader was our main bad guy, and he's like a lower level. That's when I should crush him, right? The Spader, but he runs a whole plane of hell. So he was the main bad guy for a while. And then we went on to the Dark Brotherhood with Heisei and Leviator. But we don't have specialty priests at this point. But yeah, use them too. There you go. Yeah, Moose. So you understand. This is back in this is the era where you're learning how to play, and you're learning. Greyhawk is a map, right? Greyhawk is a Darlene map. That's Greyhawk. What's beyond that? There's adventures and a map. There's a
It took
right.
decades for them to. I mean,
Exactly.
it was first in the Cult Sargent era that we started getting deep source books and so on. So yeah,
absolutely, that's it.
Well, we got box set of City of Greyhawk City box set and stuff, but that was about it.
No, that's still almost 15 years later.
Oh yeah, exactly. That is also 10, after 10. Gary left. So Saga of Old City was basically one of the few Greyhawk stuff that we got that had Greyhawk. That was on during Gary's. Yeah,
it took off so much that Gary was doing other things and he wasn't writing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
What could have been, right? And we only get little tidbits of stories. I mean, we get tidbits of stories. Thank God we had them. Jim Ward telling us he killed Morning King 6 times on Starship Warden. I mean, we'd never know that story if we didn't have him on the show. And then all Len stories, and then and Rob Kuntz's stories of Gary. So at least we have some stuff.
Yeah, now we know the dirty stories on him too. So
Patrick, it's the Farrah hair. You gotta love the Farrah Fawcett hair. Yeah, with a Leviathan.
That was the '80s style hair. Yep.
All right, so here's my main Winchester family deity, Zuko, Supreme God of the Kalevala. Normally, the main god is in the front of each section, but because this is because Finnish deities are based, the Finnish mythology is based on the heroes more, so he gets pushed back here. But the reason I got drawn is because they didn't have Valkyries, they had air maidens, and I just love the idea of the air maiden. It was a really cool concept. I mean, are they ripped off from Valkyries? Probably, right? I don't know, Anna.
I'm not sure exactly. I think Valkyries are in several different myths. Right. So I'm not sure which one invented them, if they were the ancient Greeks or if they got it from somewhere, or because they're in the Nordics too, but I'm sure they got it from somewhere. So a lot of these gods and stuff were imported. Few of them some of them were probably invented too, but most of the Nordic stuff comes from ancient stuff from the Indo-Europeans and stuff like that earlier on. So and Valkyries are probably something that has been used many times and then renamed and reskinned, and then so it's a cool concept. So
right. And with this, and you have, let me see if I have that's a spell list, the Zuko spell list. I thought I had the priesthood. It's probably not. It's probably only in Word. I never converted over. So at 11th level.
BB Fair Fun. That's a cool way of looking at it. Yeah.
Well, no, Valkyries aren't winged, right? Like the air maidens are, which is the main difference. The Valkyries are riding Pegasus or whatever. They're winged creatures. The air maidens. Just neat. Thank you for the hype train, everyone. Really appreciate it. So an 11th level priest of Uko and Greyhawk can summon a Valkyrie, an air maiden, like once a month, to serve. Which we don't have any. We've never had one that get that high. It's a PC brought up from first. Thanks, Keith. But hey, if it happens one day, we'll see an air maiden. I think I've had an air maiden appear one time in 45 years of campaigning. One time to give advice to a party. I think it was from a commune spell someone cast, and the air maiden showed up to answer the questions. And that was it. Out of all that time. So those are 4 deities right there that we utilize. All right. Gonna come down to Greek. I just started using this one as of Saturday. Wanted to go a different direction. And that's Hecate. I wanted an evil goddess of magic that wasn't Ouija. I didn't want Cerule. I wanted one that was a little more, what should I use the word, dirty hot, Anna, than I didn't want hags. So yeah, Hecate fits perfectly for. So the warlocks in my game now, we're gonna have the witches, which have all sorts of people they revere. But this warlock sect that they fought on was one warlock on Saturday is Hecate and Serenus from Celtic. It fit, what's up there, Josh? Good to see you, man.
Hello.
Yep, good to see you, dude. So yeah,
Yeah.
we use Hecate, and I always, I don't know, just her connection to hell is interesting. So Hecate was a big one in some Doctor Who episodes too. I remember back in the day, and she has these hellhounds as servants. I thought to myself, why couldn't she have them as that? Why couldn't the hellhounds and the pack of the wild hunt hounds be cousins? Similar, right? So, he started using Hecate there. Um, Josh, man, I haven't seen you in a while, man. I know how busy you are. It's all right, man. I know you got a lot going on. It's good to see you. All right, so I don't use a lot of other Greeks besides that one. But there's a lot of different ones you could utilize. Big one early on, kind of we got away from. And this was Tim, actually. He may talk about this. Was Prometheus. The only Titan that's worshipped as a god, right? Was Prometheus. Gave fire to man. Tim had a lot of characters that worship Prometheus early on. So yeah, that was another one and there's some magic items that are in. There's one magic item in particular in Fortress Elendar that adventure. It's named after Prometheus. So, all right, let's go next down to Norse. And trust me, we've seen it all. We've had people worshiping a Melnibonian god, Dawnblast the Justice Maker, a couple others. Yeah, this is the only reference for years on who are my demi-humans going to worship is in this book, right? This was it. So it was good that it was done, but that means the halflings have one god, the dwarves and the gnomes all have one god because that was all that was available. Norse. Hey, Mandy. Yeah, having a Gabbin on Monday instead of a Sunday. All right. And as we all know, or you don't, I said it before, Odin and Thor were the first two deities Gary Gygax ever used. So Odin and Thor, and we come down, and another one that we still use, and I have a specialty priest on, is Freya. It's Freya. I think Freya is part of Forgotten Realms as well. I think so. I may not be 100% correct on that, but and Freya made a comeback with us for one reason. I'll get to that too. And it's too bad I don't think Michael Z's on. Shout him out, but because of this one adventure, this is the first adventure Necromancer Games put out in the 3rd edition era, and look, the Crucible of Freya. So Freya made a comeback from that, because of that adventure written and utilized, and yeah, I think so too. So Freya is in Norse. We've always, everyone's done. We've always had someone worshiping Thor. There are deities in here. All right, name the two. Name the two. I haven't gotten to them yet. Two deities that are in here that are part of Greyhawk canon. That's a tough one, isn't it? One appears in a movie recently.
Okay.
A Marvel movie.
Oh, the big T.
Well, it's the gods of the giants, the frost giants and the fire giants, right? Thrym and Surtur.
Ah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Surtur was the fire god too,
Yeah,
I
remember,
think.
and
Yeah.
then at the
Mm-hmm.
very he summons them for
Yeah.
Ragnarok. Yeah, so
Surtur. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that big thing, and then just pop, just pops with
Yeah.
the sister. Yep, yep. So
Yeah.
there's Surtur, Lord of the Fire Giants, is here,
Mm-hmm.
and there's Tyr is another god, Forgotten Realms. Tyr, and then Torm, who a lot of people know Torm from the Drizzt books because that's who what's his name, the barbarian guy, worships. Yep. So yep, Tyr, and here's Thrym, Lord of the Frost Giants. Yep, they're both here. Yep, with two with one M. Now we did not have a human god of archery. There was Alana, but there was, remember, Lenla Kafka's archer class was available early because it's in an early dragon. And Walt came up with the idea. Well, I love Uller from Norse, so my character Pete Moss is going to worship Uller, and that stuck. But so that's an option here too. So and he's CAC neutral, fits. So God of Hunting, Archery, and Winter for the Norse Uller we use that a bit too. Yeah. Tyr died and came back in FR. So what, during the time of troubles? Yeah, also mentioned against the Giants. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely there. Like I said, they're Greyhawk. Those they're utilized. Here are the Valkyries, but yeah. So Aller is another one there. That character is Monty Hall. Most he's like 16, 17 Archer Ranger, but still, I don't know if his sons worship Uller still, but Uller was used back in 1980, 81. All right. So cool pictures. There's some great artwork in here. Just some really cool artwork. So yeah. So those are ones for the most part, good and bad, that I utilize in my game. From deities and demigods to this day, and ones that have Imlator, Leviator, Uko, or ones that have specialty priest classes from second edition done. So, all right, let me scroll back up here, and then we're actually gonna go to a Dragon magazine here shortly. But let's go back to Celtic. Okay, what a great picture.
Mm-hmm.
Raise your hand or say yes if you and Chad have ever used the Wild Hunt in your game.
No, I don't. I
Oh my
haven't used
gosh,
it.
what a cool thing.
Yeah,
I used
it
it in the
is
Vesting
cool.
Forest. That
I
summons.
used similar, but I haven't stolen the concept whole
Oh, it's just
whole
it's
whole,
such
whole
a
so to
cool
speak.
story.
Mm-hmm.
So Cernus, it's either the Master of the Hunt or the deity Cernus, which is way, way more powerful than the Master. That's the Master of the Hunt in that picture. But here's the Master in the pack. I used Pack of the Wild Hunt creatures Saturday. There were 6 of them. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? This story right here is one of the best stories. This one side, one column of lore and just storytelling that was written. I just love it. How once the summoner, and there is a high level druid spell called Call Hunt. It's 7th level. So you got to be, I mean, you only got to be 12th level to cast it. Because remember, the druids get 7th level powerful spells a lot earlier in other classes in first edition for some reason. So you can call the hunt, and the hunt, so you hear them in the distance, and yeah, and it's. So I wanted to play on this with the warlocks because the warlocks are um, into the hunt and revere Cernus, so I love the idea of a hunt appearing or them bringing a hunt upon something in the near future, which is the direction I want to go. You bring the hunt upon a part of Altamira or a castle, someone's keep, it's bad news, right? So, but it's neat. It's a fun thing. There have been there have been legends of epic battles between the master and his hounds. Some of the greater heroes of the past in these legends, the master and his pack have been slain, only to disappear in the darkness and appear somewhere else the next night. And it does say up here, there only could be one in the prime material plane per night. Okay. Yeah, really neat idea. So whoever came up with that lore and converted it into the D&D discussion. I fight the wild. Oh, Witcher 3 has it. That's right. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that in Witcher 3. Yeah, too bad they don't probably do it. They didn't do it in this last season of The Witcher, which I heard was awful. But all right. So with this, we're going to go to Dragon 65. What page is that? So I can go back to 57. Okay. So Dragon 65. It's going to expand on the Celtic deities. A really good article expanding on the Celtic deities, showing all the errors that were made in the. Someone did their homework and showed all the errors that were made in the Deities and Demigods book. So and some ideas and some differences, and added a couple deities that didn't make it in the book. So. All right, let me go back down.
That's a cool classic Clyde Caldwell
yeah, he did, man.
cover too.
Yeah, 82.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we are up to. This is pre Greyhawk box set still. So this stuff's out. So
yeah, but we passed folio, but pre box set.
Right,
yeah.
But also all the gods of the demi-humans are out by Roger Moore before this.
That's true. Yeah,
yeah,
but they were not specifically Greyhawk, but they
weren't
definitely usable in Greyhawk. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Freya is a major deity in The Witcher. That is true there, Dragger. 100% true. Freya is a major deity in The Witcher. Yes, you're correct. Idris Harris. 100% right on that. Okay. All right. Thanks, Patrick. Okay. So yeah, it's called Tuatha De Danann and Celtic Mythos Revised, page 47. Now, what it'll do is that this article will go over some changes, differences, history. Oh, this is one of the great articles here. So this is, these are my favorite. It's in here too. Phil, yeah, look at those Elmores. I think 2 of them are Elmores, the third's a Caldwell, Yellow Dragon. You've seen me bring these against people, Orange Dragon, and that's an easily, a Purple Dragon. Yeah, that's where they come from. This is this one. It's such great early Dragon articles. Time Lord. You want to play Doctor Who? There you go in D&D. Monsters of the Midway. I think is that an early Blood Bowl one? It may be. All right, let me get to it. Look at that. Advanced Squad Leader. Great game too.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. All right. Okay. I don't know who Robin Empress Atkinson is, but great article.
Me neither. Yep.
Revised Celtic Mythos. So, and what they do, what this person does is go through and give you some of the things that need to be updated, changed, talked about how the Tuatha, really give you more background than just stats, right? That on them all in here, which is really a nicely done article. Talking, there you go, Dagda, Nuada, Agma, Dian Shik, Manana MacLear, which he's was he Irish? Or is that Cooch Lane was Irish?
Well, both Ireland, Scotland, and others are part of the ancient Celtic playgrounds, as well as Iberian Peninsula. There were Celts in many places in Europe. Celtic cultures.
There's a Welsh thing called Mabinogion that according to the writer, there's Celtic deities in the Deities that don't belong there. So I'll show you that too. And all right. So first thing, this deity does not appear anywhere in Deities and Demigods. Hey, Dungeon Tutor. And I love this deity, Cerbert, and that is the god of bards. Now, what do we have?
Yeah.
What do we have in ours? Ogma?
Well, yeah, we have only Damara in a sense, kind
Right.
of maybe. Yeah.
But that's a rogue. That's the wandering minstrel, right? This is a
Yeah.
god of bards.
Yeah.
So here in my game, in my campaign, in fact, we had it once that a bard, and it says it right in here, that if Kerber thinks you're good enough, they can basically summon him and challenge him to a musical duel. Yeah, and it tells you how to do it, and yeah, so you don't want to be evil. He doesn't really appreciate evil. He's neutral good. Good or neutral bards can duel him off, and character was successful and gained a whole level from that. So I thought it was a really cool touch. Um, this article was written for that, and so there's some stats on Caribou, but in my game to this day, we don't have any specialty priests of them, but I would make one up if someone wanted to play them. So just note that. All right. Now come down here. Now this is it. They did their research so much. The non-Tuathan characters. So and it talks about here. Aran and Math are from the Mabinogion, a collection of legends from the Brythonic Celts of England and Wales, and do not belong anywhere near the Tuatha De Danann. So figured out that there were some differences here. The Morrigan is the Celtic goddess of war, not specifically Tuatha, though she fought on behalf of the Tuatha at the Second Battle of Mag Tuired. And then they don't know about Dunatis, where it came from. And then Sylvanus, he believes, is a Roman god named for Serenus. It sounds Roman, but it probably is the version of Serenus that they put in. But Sylvanus definitely is. You couldn't find any details on it, which I found cool. And here's Serenus. So Serenus doesn't appear in these demigods, but we've had specialty druids for a long time, probably about 25 years now. And Serenus is one of the four we have. We have specialty druids of Rolfane Ralphil, Ilana, Serenus, and the Master of the Wild Hunt, the evil aspect of them all for the Vesvi druid combat going on in there. So when I read Timothy Brannan's Warlock publication, let me see, did I not put it in here? I got to go to the week before. Give me 1 second here. I got to go to Gabbin 378, last week's. All right. So when I go to the Warlock that Timothy Brannan made that I'm starting to utilize, he does the patrons or the deities of, here we go, the gods and monsters. He does that can work for the Warlocks. And what do I see down here? Dagon's in here. Did I go by it? Or I may have gone by it right up here. Was it up here? Pazuzu, Sagatha. He puts in the Frog God Games one. That's Sagatha. That's the frog, which I thought was really smart on his part. Yeah, lots of deities, or baddies. I must have gone by it. I could have sworn it was methods. You notice I use methods. Oh, here we go. Lords of the Fairy. There we go. There we go. Right here, Lord of the Hunt and the Wild Hunt. I'm like, perfect. So he's like, so I sent him a message and was like, what were your thoughts on this? Is this from Clark Ashton Smith? I did not know that, Sam. I thought they made it up, but he is a Lovecraft Circle creation. I didn't know that. Is it in Deities and Demigods? I thought that was Yog Sothoth. Did they change the name? Interesting. I could have I thought they made it up. Well, cool. I appreciate the clarification on that. Well, they made this huge frog. I've been trying to get the miniature for it for a long time. Okay, it's not a Cthulhu deity. I don't know Cthulhu that well. So here you go, the Wild Hunt. And I was like, perfect. Now I have a reason for these warlocks to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And that is they want to bring the Wild Hunt back in the area. So boom. And so the connection just worked. So and that gets me back to Cernus as a deity, which I already had. So I made that connection. So we have two aspects for the warlocks, Hecate and Cernus. So also Lovecraft, but yeah. I just didn't know. I didn't know. Are you saying Sagatha is in deities and demigods? Is that what you're saying? Let's find it.
Here's a great page that Old Dragon, one of Big Mac's buddies, they place David plays in his campaign. He made a blog that he has lots of descriptions of various D&D deities, especially the
That's not
monster
here.
mythology updates. So all the
Oh,
kobold,
okay.
orcs, humanoids, and a bunch of others. So yeah, he has really a lot of good write-ups on deities.
Like in aspect of what is it like?
It's stats and he goes through lots of cool stuff about them, so to speak. He
Okay,
collects from various, yeah. So it's a great one. You can, if you want to find it,
monster mythology. Oh,
it's like
it's an update to the monster mythology book.
yeah,
The blue book. Got it.
and more stuff, more than that. So yeah.
Cool.
So it's a good source, and it's written up in I think second edition stats. So yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I thought I put it in there because it's a good
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. And then
Lots
on
of them.
Greyhawk Online there is a deity page in the wiki as well that I think is worth mentioning here that has a good overview of all the deities.
Mm. Yeah, it's like they just I don't see. Oh, there they are. I was looking for. I was curious on if all the ones from Living Greyhawk journal the guys the journal Gazette's got in there into that Greyhawk one.
Oh, on the wiki.
Yeah, I
Oh
didn't see.
yeah, yeah. Or the wiki has a whole bunch of them. There is I'm sure there's a few from because Living Greyhawk had like 100 of them or so, but there is also lists of Living LG. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see if we can find a good pet.
Whoops. I just got a message from someone who we've been talking about him right now.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yep.
Let's see.
Cool, man. No, I know that there was all those ones that Eric wrote up, right? All the demigods or hero gods that he did. I'm just curious. I don't know if they were in the wiki or not, so it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So let me finish up with the Celtic here real quick. All right, so the Master of the Hunt is in Forgotten Realms. Malar, right? Malar is basically the Master of the Hunt. And then Serenus is a step above him. So we have both in mind, but both of them are evil, neutral with evil tendencies. Like Master Hunt's more evil, but Serenus is evil too. It's just the way it goes on them. Nature personified in a very visceral form is, you could say it's just natural. It could be neutral, but yeah, it's got an evil tinge to it. But got some ideas, some changes on the wild, minor changes on the Wild Hunt here, and there's another picture. So that adds in, for me, another, connects the druids I use with that to the warlocks. So that was easy. And because where would you go Greyhawk wise? I know you can go Old Faith, but like it just doesn't feel right, right? I mean, if I want to,
I think this feels very much like Old Faith
it
in another
does. Well,
sense.
yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't switch the deity from the Master of the Wild Hunt to do the Wild Hunt to Obadiah or something. You know what I'm saying? In order to do it, you got to use that. It just feels, it feels right. Because there's creatures that really are they Greyhawk. You don't see them like I use like Wendigos and things like that. They just don't. They don't appear regularly in Greyhawk, right? But I think that I kind of like them in that Greyhawk. Now, are they Fey creatures now? I don't know. I don't know if they're 5th edition. So, but like I just really like I like that feel. That like the evil part of nature. That is out there to get you. So, all right, and then a lot of bibliographies of where all this information came from. So there you go. If you want to order some old dungeon magazines, I don't think it'll work. So, yeah, back issues. Yep. Alrighty, awesome. Yeah, Jeremy, if you want to share that DD list with me sometime, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. Okay. All right. Questions so far. Let's see if Tim comes on in hour 2, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be. I saw that Troller Games actually running. I forgot they have a game on Monday night, but Chuck is actually playing it, so I guess he's doing better, which is great. Great to see. I'm lurking on him right now. It's good to see. So, all right. Just cool, man. Thanks. You see, Eric Boyd wants to play too. Got it. Thank you in the direct Discord. Appreciate it. Take a look at it. No, it looks like Eric wants to jump in, so that'll be good.
Oh, perfect.
On
Yeah.
the 29th, we got a full crew, and on the 29th, which is great, because Curtis and Brett both want to play. Well, I know Curtis is in. I gotta see if Brett's in. Yeah, so I can make room for her. Yeah, absolutely. I can make room for, especially especially Priest of Half Ogre, especially Priest of her any day, not an issue. All right, so what we got here. Let's go. Let's go here. All right, so deities get at it all the time. Greyhawk, or did. And I think, well, I don't know if it was Feast of the Greyhawk box set or I think it was From the Ashes. Mayheen just shows up out of nowhere, right? I knew nothing about it. I was like, oh, what's this deity, right? So I'm assuming it's a sergeant deity.
I think so. Maybe because either that or it was, From the Ashes was written by Sargent too. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Sam,
So
do
it's
you know?
yeah,
Does anyone else know? I
think
just,
it's a Sargent era edition. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
but like I knew nothing about Mayheen at all. Mayheen just shows up in From the Ashes, right? First time I ever had heard of the deity. And that was yes. I guess you don't like Mayheen there, Sam. Well, a lot of people don't either. But and this is where this Stupid.
Unless the Saga of Old City or the Artifact of Evil has a paladin warrior type coming from Hardby. I'm not sure if that Daedry or whatever her name was,
Yeah,
if
okay.
she's a Mayahin, that's possible, but
Yeah, Sam says
I
it's definitely
forgot.
Sergeant creation. So,
Okay, yeah.
We had an issue where Bill the Master Crafter wanted, and I don't want to hear about Stratus. I don't know anything about Stratus. I don't care about Stratus. Dale's not on to bust my balls about it, but wanted a god of like combat acuity and planning, but not evil and not good. So we have Herodias here and we have Hexter here, and it just neither of them fit. So I started doing my research. Yes, there you go. Brought to Earth, another world during the Greyhawk Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why do we need to bring deities to Earth from the Greyhawk Wars? Okay, well,
Well,
it's
they
probably a
might
deity in his
need some
campaign,
help.
and he liked
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, I think it's more. I think it's definitely Sergeant. So we go here, and this is like an addendum, and we got all these deities, and I'm looking on. I better be in the right book. Yeah. So Demi Powers, and I'm like, what is this? This Red Knight, and I was like, really liked it. I liked it. I liked the chess piece symbol. Um, lawful neutral, lady of strategy, grand master of the lance board. Sounds cool to me. I think this. Yes. See, Michael, great minds think alike, Von Mohu. Absolutely. I love the Red Knight deity, and a lot of characters in my campaign are Red Knight. So, hey, this is before I knew Ed at all. This is before I'm talking to Ed, and I'm thinking to myself, they're stealing all this stuff for Forgotten Realms. I'm going to steal something back. So there you go. We took the Red Knight and threw it in. Um, the Red Knight serves Tempest, the Lord of War, as the goddess of planning and strategy. She is portrayed as a dark-haired woman in blood-red armor with a map of the realms tightly clasped in her hands. The Red Knight keeps true name secret from all but the Lord of Battles. So, yep, it fit perfectly. A god of battle planning, lawful neutral, just exactly what he was looking for. So we have a lot of Red Knight worshippers in the game. And it's just one of those deities that somehow with interplanar travel or whatever, or the what's the World's End and all the bars that you can connect through. It leaked into Greyhawk somehow in my game. There you go. So and got some cool abilities. Analyze opponents. Knight's move is a really cool. It's like a blink / mini dimension door. The Bill uses all the time. It just fits. So that is one I've stolen right from Forgotten Realms. So Dragon here, that's cool. I don't use a lot of deities compared to like the Greyhawk listing. Nowhere near that many, right? But the ones I do use, you got to remember, I got a lot of people play demi-humans in my game. So there's a lot of demi-human, especially priests. Well, in comparison to some of the others, but we have a lot of Greyhawk based ones, and we have a lot that are from other places. And Red Knight's one of the big ones and it's recent. It's probably, I say recent, 20 years ago. That's a long. No, it doesn't sound like a
It's
long time.
recent for us.
It's
Yep.
recent for me. Yeah.
Yeah, the last 25 years.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
recent. Yeah.
So if I go to the completed and approved specialty priest list, most updated. Here, these are not evil ones. Oh, the evil ones are on here, but they're, yeah. So there you go. So and you got ones that are from Dragon Magazine, like Ariel, Etheranal. You're a Dragon, Alana, Illustrate. There's another one. All right, there's another. We're not doing demi-human ones, but there's another one. Good drow deity. That is Ed. That is Ed personified. That deity, right? Dancing around, all clothes stripped off, dancing around a fire. That's Ed. Earth Far Land. I'm seeing if I'm missing anyone there. Kellen and Cord, Leviator, Moradin, Merlin, Perlin, Falcon, Foltus, Ralshez, Red Knight, Sharis. That's another one. I gave in to Walt once when Walt was back in the day with his craziness. He wanted a god at debauchery. So there you go. That's Sharis. That's another one that comes right from I think that's in this one too. Let me go to where is it? Powers and Pantheons. Did I close it? I may have closed it by accident. I did, didn't I, dumbass? No, here it is. I think it's in here. Let me see. It's a deviation of Shar. Yeah, it's in here. Sharis 51. There's another one. And he's got like one character. This is the one, Anna, that Eric Boyd always says he's so proud of himself for sneaking in this spell.
Mm-hmm.
Intensify sensation, which is
Yeah.
I was like, I know what that is because we use it. 50. Here we go, Sharis. Looking up for Tim.
Yeah, BB fan fun. That's the
Sharis.
the Faultian attitude. Yep. Mm-hmm. You nailed it.
Yeah, that's hysterical. Between 86 and 2009, you have one human character. Did you play it or in your campaign? My gosh. Well, hey. All right, so Sharis is it's hard to read all this. Succubus is sensation, the tawny temptress, the dancing lady. You know, it's just like the Festal Madam of the Lostfell Mistress. She's got all these names. Sharis is more commonly recognized as the name of the deity originally known as Bast, the cat goddess. So there you go. Kind of converted over to this. Yeah, so and there's excessive indulgence. There it is. Intensify sensation. Thank you, Eric Boyd.
Yeah, exactly. Malku, there's multiple versions of Faultians. Yeah.
All depends on your campaign for that, right? I'd
Yeah,
say
but
I have
but
two.
it also makes it feel more real, so to speak, because I
Right.
think religions have a tendency, most religions split off and split up and fork off new versions of itself over the years or over time.
Got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with that, that is, I think, it as far as ones my personally added in. Washer, Uko, Tritherian. Oh, no, one more. So, yep, one more. I missed one, and that is a bad one that I converted to. I made an evil one, a neutral one, and that is Talos. Talos was the god of storms and technology, and I just turned it into the Storm Lord. As a chaotic neutral deity of like of the the bad storm, the hurricanes and the tornadoes and that kind of storm destruction basically. So it works. It works. It's another one. Talos is a pretty bad god, chaotic evil, I believe, in Forgotten Realms, but I made Stormlord chaotic neutral. Because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know if all right, there's Osprey and there's others, but are they gods of storms? Like, do we have a god of
Well,
storms?
we have the four winds.
But I
This
never even heard of
Yeah.
the Four Winds when I was
Well,
at
yeah,
this
there was
time.
some, no, back in the day, but that's
Yeah,
something comes later. We have Alaturia and stuff. So to me, it's like the
yeah,
explanation and stories behind the gods have gradually been explained to me over decades. And
exactly.
now I'm starting to have and have a bit more understanding. And also their cultural origins, like Palor is an old Flan god, Nerul the same
Hmm.
way, and stuff. So these kind of their origin stories is also important. And then some of them have become common, like Palo and others, and some of them have stayed in
Right.
whatever culture they came from and stuff.
But they were made after the fact. They're not made by Gary.
No, exactly. Most of them, yeah.
They're all made as
Mhm.
people needed them,
Yeah.
and expanded on them.
Yep.
So yeah. Was there an Omen god? There may be. So uh-oh. It's the
Hello.
ever mysterious
Hello.
Tim. What's going on, man? How are you? Can you hear me?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Tired.
Why? Because you worked?
Different shift, later shift. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
When did that start?
Just as needed, sir. As needed.
Oh, okay. All right. So we went through a lot of the ones that we have that are not Greyhawk in my game. We're just talking about where they come from. You know, a lot of them go from in deities and demigods. Not all of them, but there's a lot in deities and demigods. Uko, Ilmater, Leviator.
You and that maiden of pain.
Come on, Tim. That's
What's
fun.
up with the Finns? What's up with them?
What?
Mhm.
Isn't she Finnish?
What? Why is there a Finnish deity of the Maiden of Pain? I have no idea.
No, I mean, what's up with those? They like those saunas, so maybe they like that pain.
It's Finnish sisu. Grit. Take it. Yep.
Hey, I'm glad they have that deity. That deity's,
Mhm.
you know, like I said, I like that deity so much that Leviator's a regular deity in Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of deities from the Finnish, Celtic, and Norse in his campaign setting.
I know. And then there's the art in the deities and demigods. You like that?
Mhm.
We already showed that. Yeah.
Yep.
She has the
Compared
Farrah
to
Fawcett hair too, as someone pointed out.
that might be
Totally.
a sign of the times it was made. Yep.
All right, one more to go over, and then we'll get Tim involved in this. This came out 2000, 3rd edition.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Crucible of Freya. All right.
That was like probably just after, 2000 was the launch of 3, so probably a year or two after that, or maybe 2000. Yeah.
Clark Peterson, Bill Webb. So Bill
Okay.
Webb still
Yep.
running Frog God. You know,
Yeah.
this is early on, first or second level. This gave us kind of gave a revival on Freya for a bit with the storyline, and I think the deity, if I recall, there was deity information in here in this adventure. So this was the start of Necromancer Games. You know, all the stuff they did, and we ran this, and it was good, especially for a low level adventure. I was really happy with it. Let me see. Let me just scroll through here. Monsters Appendix 1. I mean, a huge amount of data. Maybe not. I don't know. But with this, always was this. We had a code in here somewhere. Product update right here. Product update password, and those downloads are lost to time if you didn't download them. But with that, you got all this extra data. Like you get this Adventure Wizard's Amulet was an attachment to it. Map books. So they had so much extra. Like, you know, look, there's Map of the Fair Hill, just like they did for Dungeon Magazine. Remember during the 3rd edition era.
So you could really just have it as a
Setting.
Yeah.
Here, the Crucible of Freya, supplemental adventure ideas and encounter areas. Right. This is how many pages is this? 23 pages.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Of added content. Along with this Wizard's Amulet adventure, which is a free download off of that. And this itself was, I don't know, another 20 pages at least. All that came from from that one adventure. Now, it's a shame, like I said, that the stuff's not available anymore. And yeah, all that stuff, all this extra stuff was free. All of it. Once you bought the adventure and had the code password. You could go and just it was on their site, download it. I imagine now that we know, I mean, Frog God's a huge sponsor of the channel now. I imagine I could go, hey, Bill, someone's looking for this off of the Whole the Rainbow Mage adventure, the download pack for it. I don't have it. Can you locate it? So I bet you he'd do it, but just would have to ask Michael Z and see if we could find it, right?
Yeah.
Tim. So, but with that, that I recreated, especially Priest of Freya, looked at that, because Freya was in Norse mythology, but added that in because of just this adventure module, the first of its kind. And this got my love going during the 3rd edition era for Necromancer game stuff.
And you liked Freya so much that it's what you chose for Kitsana.
Yes, I did. You're right. I did, because it was what do you call it?
Norse.
Norse, but it was also but it was the fertility goddess, basically.
Yeah.
Yep. And we wanted to be a little different there. So that's the next question. What deities are big in the city state that are, Freya is one that's allowed, but do you have a list that's allowed, or do you have
Oh, they have a lot in there.
Judges
There's
Guild? Are there any crossover?
There's Thoth.
Oh, okay. So Egyptian.
Harmachis is like a derivative of that.
There.
Not as such there.
Right, but in Dark Tower.
Yeah, oh yeah, Dark Tower, but not in the city, but not in the city state.
Not in the city state
proper.
Right.
I was thinking there's a temple
Mitra.
of Mitra and Set, or
in the Dark Tower.
There is a temple of Mitra, I think, in
the city state.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And Thor's
there. That's right. So
and
there you go.
A lot of the berserker warrior types worship Thor and Odin.
Right. Yep.
The I know there's more. There's some temples that are like you don't really know what they're about.
It could be demons, devils.
The Hellbridge temple.
Yeah. It's probably Asmodeus or Basilbul or one of those.
Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah. Which is part of the fun of the game.
Yeah. Temple of Pagana. Pagana was based off of some literary works done. Forget the guy's name, but like in the late 1800s, he made sort of little fantasy world. And he had this he was creating the myth of this fantasy world with these gods. And
Alfred Lord Dunsany.
There you go. Yeah.
Good job, Sam.
So
thank you.
I use Pagana as another continent that's on the planet.
Oh, okay.
So Temple of Pagana is a temple that has several deities in it that are revered, and it's very strange. That super fast dragon you ran into was a Pagana land dragon. So it's a strange place. So there's not too much overlap, but somebody went and sponsored a temple in the city state.
It's good to know.
So, but yeah.
Who did Skeev worship? Do you have a deity? Or Fenzig?
No. Fenzig?
Yeah.
I don't know. Baka probably.
You made him Baka. But I was just thinking back of the old days.
I might have actually. I have to look at his old character sheets. I might have put down Bacchus or something like that because he was chaotic neutral when he started.
Right. But like we were talking earlier about Pete Moss was Uller from Norse.
Right.
Yeah. We used a lot of them because there were no Greyhawk deities in those
I had St. Cuthbert.
Yeah, we knew about. Yeah, there's a couple you knew about.
But one of them was Saint Swithin.
Right, that was another one your dad used, Saint Swithin.
Right,
didn't he?
And Saint Swithin is a real saint, actually.
Right, he's an actual real saint. Yeah,
I've been to Saint Swithin's chapel and I forget which castle it was in. But anyway,
I did not know that.
Yeah,
it's also
not a big one. Not a big one.
Huh? I did not know that. Gnomes and trolls are gnolls. Hey, Doc, thanks. It's also the source of the word gnolls, Gnoles, from which EGG derived gnolls. It calls them a cross between gnomes and trolls, and not the later hyena creatures. Okay, I like the hyena creatures over the gnome and troll crossbreed. There, that would be.
Yeah, how does that work?
Pagan is in Appendix N. Oh, that's good. So it's good reading. I've never read it. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily good reading, but it can help visualize the strange and
Okay.
weird. It's not Lovecraftian at all, but it has similar, I think, horror sort of elements. But I think a lot of the ancient myths do.
Okay.
Some of the things they do and have done to them, even the Greek gods and all this other stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff that happens, and so it strikes me as one of those sort of pantheons.
There's always bad stuff happening. There has to be bad. If there's no bad, then what's the point of adventure?
Well, I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yikes.
I was remembering back to the early days when we didn't have, we knew of some of the deities that were out, but we had no stats on them. We knew of St. Cuthbert. We knew of Alana. Right? There were
right, but you don't really need stats.
No, exactly. But
because really,
hey, darling,
what stats do we have in real life? So
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So
but
I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I know I've picked different Greek ones occasionally, and
yep. For me, I remember early on, if you were half elven, you went with Alana, Gazumba, Hawk. They're all Alana.
Yeah.
If you're a human, you had a lot of options, right? Because in deities and demigods, you only have one god for each of the small races, but you have a couple for the elves. So you have Corellin, but we knew of Alana, so Alana was not. But for the human ones, it ended up all the Winchesters are Uko to this day still. So yeah, and then you got
just because it's easy to spell.
Yeah, we had some people worship Loki too. So more of the chaotic neutral people like Loki. I don't remember specifically which characters they were, but yeah, that was another one. That was another one in there. Yeah, but I remember specifically Uller was Walt's archery god, which made sense because we had the archer class out, and it was and that was by Leonard, and that was like the first custom class that I added in that was written by someone else. Yeah. Then I made the bounty hunter so we could play assassins but knock people out instead of killing them outright, right?
Right.
That was the first one I created, but the archer was the first one we used. Because it was just such a cool idea. So Leonard's stuff was being used while we were 12-year-old kids. So yeah, back in the day, which is when you think about it, is just a pretty amazing. That Len's influence goes all the way back, Anna, to when we were just kids in 1980.
Yeah, definitely. Come on, he was part of Gen Con when I was like 12 years, 10 years old or something.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think they had the first one in 75 when I was. No, they had when I was 10 or 74 or something like that. So no, maybe it was even 70. So I was like 5 years old or something.
I had my dad's copy of L1. And in it, he has a couple sheets where he wrote down the character stats, and so Leuven was like second level or something.
Oh, do you really have that? Oh, wow.
Yeah. And got killed by a fireball. Yeah. And but the temple that's out in the woods, the strange temple that like to drink and gamble.
Yeah, a big game. Temple of the Big Game.
Yeah. So there was no specific name, but my dad's notes he put Hermes.
Okay. Wow. That's cool. I think it's now it's a Procan? No.
Yeah, it's some sort of
it's one of those. Church of the
Big
Game
or gambling.
I love that. I mean, it was that's why it's on my wall of fame. And I Assassin's not was in the top 30 of all time in Dungeon. I understand why, because it was a story. It was like story driven, right? But I still think L1 is just the stuff in there. stuff in there is
You
just,
can, if you're interested, you can put it all together. What happened? Because of the battlefield up there on the
yeah, right.
with the old castle. Anyway, you see the different siege engines and the bones and how
This
things are
is
laid out.
such a good, just such
Yeah.
a good
It's
idea.
and there's a big burn area out in the courtyard to warn you.
That's true.
It's like the fireball marks are already there.
Here, Tim, here's another picture you may have never seen of a Leviator before. More clothed than normal. I'm gonna cut you
People
down.
look like they're in pain.
Well, the other two are other deities, as a matter of fact. So yeah, it's just a picture of 3 deities, but yes.
She'd be a pain to hang out with anyway.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would say so. I would say so.
She's like, "Oh, you're always bringing up bad news. Always bringing up the bad stuff.
Hey, Sparky. I just
Remember that time?" Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
I just need to mention that Gen
Yeah, please.
Con started in 1968 when I was 3 years old. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I was 1. Wasn't
Yeah.
yeah.
And my bet is that Len Lakofka was there on the very first one, and it's probably been on.
Yeah. And there's actually a picture from one of the early ones.
Yeah,
They showed us
exactly.
with the Coke
Yeah,
bottle,
that's one
thick
of the.
glasses
Yeah,
he had.
exactly. That was one of the iconic pictures of Len, was taken at one of the early
70 or
Gen Cons.
71, I think that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it's been around for a couple of years. Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah. So maybe he was not on the first one, but we know he was among the early ones. So earliest ones he was there. So probably even from the first one.
I had someone on Threads the other day, and we're getting off a tangent here, and it's like, yeah, I need some advice on DMing how to set a campaign up, and I was like, well, I've been running Greyhawk for 45 years. My campaign's that old. Person said back to me, you exaggerating a little bit? I said, no. I said, we could get advice for someone else then. Don't believe me. That's okay. Isn't that fun?
You never know when you're talking to someone. Chat.
I understand that.
Yeah, you never know.
I had
It wouldn't take long. It wouldn't take long to research, though. I
understand that. I had someone on Facebook a couple years back call bullshit on me. I told them Ed played in my Greyhawk game, and they're like, bullshit. I'm like, okay, call.
It's on video.
Yeah.
That's right, Gail. You missed the Uko stuff. And you can bust my balls all you want about the Red Knight and Uko. And don't tell me about Stratus. Stratus doesn't exist in my world. Whatever the hell.
I like
Stratus
the Red
is.
Knight. The Red Knight is just a fantasy version of what I think
it's
Athena.
All good. Athena. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that actually makes. I love the symbol of the rook. I think it's just
right. It's cool. It's strategy, and
you know what? I'm going to ask Ed and Eric who created the Red Knight. In fact, here Eric is talking in chat here. I don't know if I'll get him, but I'm going to put here. I'm not sure if Eric did it. Who created the Red Knight? I don't know if I'll get.
Did Len ever play in a game with you?
Did Len? No. That's a
no. He did.
No, but here. All right. That's a great story. I just started streaming, and Len was on well before Ed was, right? And we had Len on a regular basis. I said, Len, you want to try? Hey, you want to try playing a game? One of my games live stream. He's like, okay. He wanted to play Ouija. He wanted to play Ouija cleric. I said, perfect. I have a specialty priest of Ouija. No. I just want cleric. I was like, you get these other abilities. You can cast. So no. What are you talking about? No, I don't. So then he's like, why do you do this? Why you don't use speed factor? You don't use segmented spell casting? I was like, my head was about to explode. I was like, Len did not. I don't think ever understood that every DM's different. I mean, it was so it never got there.
Well,
I was like, oh my god,
it makes more sense why you would keep just the basic characters, classes.
Right.
If you're going to run it like that, because that's already enough detail that your desire for details has been satiated.
And that exactly, and that's exactly it. He told me all the stuff I was doing wrong. So yeah, exactly, and so it was funny. It just never. it would have been my first big super special guest ever playing my game, but it never happened. Now I kind of regret not getting him on there.
Well, I promise to carry on that tradition, Jay, and I'll keep pointing out things that are wrong.
That's okay, man. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. All right. So, all right. Give me Tim or Anna, of course. Give me a deity or
I came in fully prepped to talk about the Rovers.
Let's do
Okay.
it. There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because
That
Good
goes in the
one.
Greyhawk. That's what I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. Go for it.
So I use the American Indian mythos set in the deities, demigods.
Oh, okay. Well, let me pop it up there as we're talking. So go ahead.
And Heng is the thunder spirit. So Heng is
Mike Disney's character.
Yeah, he is a specialty priest of Heng.
I knew that.
And say again.
I knew that. I knew actually. See, I pay attention when I'm sitting here all those hours.
And the what's the winter deities?
Telshu.
He's somewhere in one of those 2 pages. Not that many.
Oh, here. Hotoru's the wind god.
The winter one's terrible. I'm just trying to remember.
Shakak.
Oh yeah, Shakak.
Oh, she's using them all from here. Okay, that's great to know.
So well, the first winter ones, if you remember, the one adventure where Blue Box John killed one of the other characters because he got charmed by a winter sprite.
Right.
That was a whole priests of Shakak doing some extra nasty things. He's trying to get some frozen dinners, some sacrifices.
That's even a disturbing looking picture of Shakak.
Yeah, he is not nice.
I don't want to sound like a goofball here, but it looks like a hybrid between the abominable, like the idea of the abominable and the cold miser from the Christmas.
Now he looks more like a totem. If you see some of those totem animals.
I love that art style. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. All right, so
I think it's very fitting.
So all the deities in the American Indian mythos.
Well, they're not. Most of the spellcasters are druidical, so some sort of form of a nature deity. And again, they're for a bunch of different tribes. Who knows what names they're using to call them? So, like Prometheus is character's a druid, but instead of using mistletoe, he uses mushrooms.
What about this character, Tobad Zinsin?
Oh yeah, he's terrible.
Well,
I mean, that's what some of your more violent kill 'em all. The guys who sided with the, they would have a pantheon that they would, you're going to go to war. You go ahead and swear to this deity. You're going to sacrifice some people to dedicate to them.
Right.
It's dry out. You need to rain. You're going to call for the thunder spirit to come and bring the rains.
And the thunderbird.
The winter you're going to, try to satiate him so he doesn't make it a terrible winter. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't necessarily be so kind of like the barbarian cleric. He doesn't have one. He's supposed to take care of it all.
Right.
And so I think, lay people would be going to whatever deity of whatever deity is in charge of. That's the one they go to when they need something from there. So Coyote features in, Coyote was one of the key was the key deity in Carlos Lysing's character.
Right. Okay.
Walks with ghosts. So he his story creation has a lot to do with Coyote.
That's really cool, dude. I didn't realize that and once again, I don't pry into what you do in your game. I didn't realize that you use the Pantheon from here.
Right. Yeah. It's because I based the tribal culture more off of the Cheyenne. After reading that one book, after reading about the real, the tribes and how rich and interesting the culture was and how they just lived, How do
Yeah,
they
I got
function?
it.
How do they keep order and all that? That just made me want to not just make it, barbarian, me fight hard, rage,
Right, right, right.
that
No,
does
I
a
got it.
disservice to real um uh, Aboriginal people throughout the world, I think.
Okay.
Hmm.
But
That's great to hear and see. I didn't. That's awesome.
so yeah, so Carlos's character has a thread that Coyote and the Winter Spirit have they make a deal.
Cardi and Shikak.
Yeah, because he's kind of like he's all white, he has blue eyes. Cold doesn't bother him at all anymore, and it's part of his beginning story. He was fighting some humanoids and ended up swimming for like 9 days in the water, and they got drugged down, and it was cold. And Coyote's like, "This guy's really tough. What if we bring him back?
Oh, okay.
What if we bring him back? Think of all the stuff we could do." And he's, because Coyote's a mischievous kind of,
Right.
and Shikak's like, "Fine, but I'm going to leave a mark on him." So.
What's the mark?
Well, he's white and
Oh, okay. So I
doesn't
got
feel
albino.
cold.
Okay.
However, it's kind of like the effect is kind of like having that fire shield on. You take extra damage from fire and stuff, but you're resistant to the cold.
Oh,
That's
wow.
kind of the mechanic I use for it. It's like,
Yeah.
cold doesn't like it could be winter. He can be out with no shirt on. It doesn't bother him.
Right.
But fireballs will not make him happy. He'll hate that.
Well, yeah. It's double damage.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
Uh, what about like if you have the medicine women? What are they? Are they druidic?
well, they use uh the totemic shaman. It's out of one of the footprint magazines, so they can be a
Oh, okay.
shaman, but they have a totem animal that kind of is their spirit guide for what they're doing. And but again, they're kind of
Right.
they're gonna not have one deity for sure. They're gonna have
Yeah.
their spirit guide that kind of guides them as they provide for the tribes. Because they don't have anything written. So who's going to read a scroll on this? It's all word of mouth,
Yeah.
and it'll change based on how they've intermixed and how they wander. Um,
That's great incorporation, though, man. I mean,
Hmm.
seriously, that was good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
I did not realize that. You did that
I
much
No,
did
I
work.
think about it
remember
for a
that
bit.
from when I played Lone Paw and stuff. That was you did a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
So did a lot of thinking about that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a realistic feel to it. Um,
and
And it
it's not
felt like a
simple.
special, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it felt like a special region in Greyhawk, very different from the central Flanese and its Iridian Sul Flan mix. This was different up there, so to speak, which was
Oh
cool.
yes.
Yeah.
Very spiritual, very trying to be connected, but not
Hmm.
necessarily organized religious.
Exactly. More like
Because there's
old. Yeah.
nothing there's only what they can say by what they hear and speak. There's no
Oh, yeah.
written.
It's like old animistic and whatever, like
Right.
religions that they're still around, but
So,
not that much. So, yeah.
wow. Super cool, man.
and some of the spellcaster types too from the tribes. I was using the witch mechanic for their sort of they're stuck between something that there's a spirit that they're dedicated to that gives them this power, but they're not necessarily super organized and they don't study for hours to learn how to you know so anyway.
That is you educated me on some things, man. I did not realize, and I had never even looked through and didn't realize that Hang is actually the deities in here because
It's a cool name. You thought I made it up though, huh?
I did. I really did, man. I did not know that. So I'm glad to see that.
Hang.
So
And the idea and the specialty priest of Hang, they are amongst the tribes. They're the only ones that know how to make the long composite bow. And I came up with that because
mhm.
his description of Hang, he has a longbow that he can shoot 30 miles
Okay.
Oh,
because
wow.
he's a deity, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I'm like,
there it is.
well, a priesthood that's special to him would have some sort of thing imitating his. And they have the longbow that shoots further, way further than the short bows that the other guys use. And the Nazrat, his character, is the son of a priest of Heng
Okay.
who was destined to go that way, but he just wasn't priestly material. So he's got the bow, but that's it. He doesn't have. So he's an archer for that. So
Well, I'm glad to see that and note that this was when we were little kids, this was our go-to. Deities and demigods. It was our go-to, man. It was that or nothing.
yeah.
We weren't that creative to go that outside the box. I mean, you did with what was it, Saint Swithin?
Saint Swithin.
Yeah, was that from your dad or was that from?
My dad came up with that.
Yeah, Saint
And
Swithin.
then it came up with that, and I was in elementary school, and then on a trip to England, in college, there's Saint Swithin's Chapel. It's built kind of into the wall of an old city, old town. It's a smaller town, but darn.
And you guys did use Saint Michael too. I remember Saint Michael. I thought you
I
did.
don't. Yeah, maybe so.
Too.
I don't remember
that,
but
yeah. So but you're right. I remember Swithin.
it was like he was I think my dad's versions of Cuthbert and Swithin were a lot less.
Rigid?
Well, certainly a certain Cuthbert was a lot less, rigid and
yeah.
But that may be our, lawful good bias.
Yeah.
We're like, lawful good means you're really good, so you can't be too much of a jerk.
I'll tell you all one thing. Tim does not like Sargent's neutral aspect of Fultus, because Fultus used it a lot as a lawful good deity early on, if I recall.
Oh yeah. So yeah. I think I made a character who's like a lawful good aspect and like thinks of the main group being its lawful neutral as heretics.
Right, absolutely.
You're acting in a way. You say you're bringing light, but you're actually blind yourselves.
Yeah, no, 100%.
They don't like that.
Yeah. You also had a half orc, I think, Crusader of Fultus.
Yeah.
Game. Yeah.
I saw the light.
You saw the light. The neutral thing works in the game as it can be a foe of an irritant. Like I use them all the time as an irritant, especially the Tritherian people.
They make a great antagonist, but not necessarily an enemy.
Exactly. And that's what I have in the Shield lands. That's why I threw them all in there. Is all that open land. Hey, let's go move there where land is fertile and everyone else is weak.
And they need Fultus. They need his help.
Exactly. It's perfect. It just fits.
Jerks.
There's the Leviathan picture. I did. It's a big picture, and I had to edit all the writing in there. But yeah, so Fulton. Yes, I know. I don't know where the Dimri evil Fultians came from. I guess it came from 3rd edition. Which is to each his own.
That just shows you too much of a good thing is bad, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can take light, but then when you focus it into a laser, that's what those evil people do.
Yeah.
Although I made the sun god that Narhana in the city state has is a blend of that sort of
it's a derivation
violence,
of
I guess,
Fultus.
with light.
Right.
Yeah, and Apollo.
Yeah. Apollo, that's what you said. Yeah, not Palor, but Apollo. And Fultus was the mix on for that deity for Narhana. Yeah, I was just looking at her character sheet, so hopefully she'll be back soon. So, any thoughts as we're winding down here? Look at that, we got through almost hour 45 at least.
Yeah, it's a good esoteric topic that I think there's a lot to be gained here from, and also something we haven't talked about, but you can invent your own stuff too.
Oops, I just hit the wrong button. Whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong button. Yeah, that was my bad. Duh.
No worries.
I messed the screen up here. Give me a sec here. I'm gonna go back and forth again. Just get the screen back. There we go. There we go. They're all fixed now. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so many like you know, the history of the game. If I started my game in '85, maybe I don't have any of those other deities. You know? I mean, and then I gave into some of the like, and Tim remembers the craziness of Walt with the Charis, because the god debauchery, right? Tim, I gave into Walt on that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I gave in. So, yeah. Well, that's right. Trust me, I would never. Yeah, if I worked for NASA, it would be like the song Space Oddity. Anyone working for NASA, they'd be flying off, or the end of what's its name, where the guy's surfing on the piece of what was that called? Dark Star, right? That movie. That's what it'd be like for them. Yeah. So, any other thoughts, Tim, on the
Yeah, I was
deities?
trying to think of.
Well, what did we do? I mean, we ran Dark Tower early on. It was like got to be. I'm saying 83. 83 or
It
84. Because
was early.
Zumba and Hawk were, I think, only sixth level, seventh level then.
How could they do that?
Maybe there were, but you had Fensick, Leuven, Hawk, and Gazumbo in it. You had those two NPCs, and because remember, Walt was there for about 2 hours, and he left. I don't know. I remember who he had, and then we ran it, and then we just kept on running it because it was in his girlfriend days. Remember with Trudy.
Oh
Trudy was
yeah.
yes. So Walt wasn't around at that time. So we were playing, and yeah. So and we had Set. There was Set and Mitra in that. Yeah, the deities were going at it a lot in that Dark Tower. Because
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's a very weird story. It would be like, yeah, it's cataclysmic.
yeah, it's great. But it's like I said, I think it's Janelle Jacquet's greatest. That and Thracia, right? Because you love Caverns of Thracia too, don't you? Have that? You have the
Yeah, I
original?
have that. I
Yeah.
don't think they're in the same. I don't think it's
No,
close.
but yeah, Dark Tower's the best by far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Dark Tower.
it's not a close competition, but I have Cabins of Thracia. It's interesting.
Yeah, you
But
have the
but
original. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the Dark Tower is just
So awesome. Such an awesome game. Venture. And it's not something I'm going to rerun. But I am going to do Fortress Elendar again.
I have actually
I am.
Frozen in Time is in a whole adventure party in the Dark Tower.
Oh, nice.
It was my daughters and my son played in it, and it was they were playing the Benders. Remember the Avatar: Last Airbender?
Right.
So they had different benders as classes. So they're kind of like monkish with different flares, using Oriental Adventures martial arts rules to change out their martial arts. And she was a waterbender who touched the heart of law. So the heart of law is embedded in her head now, and she's like, we must kill, we must kill all the evil here. So pretty ruthless.
I'm going to do it as a special event, whether it's the next 24-hour stream next year or whatever, but I'm going to run it.
Elendar?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The best sandbox dungeon?
Next time, Jay, put somebody on that cannon and have them blast it.
Well, of course. And the Pinoy archers are the worst. They are so bad. And they see there's Michael Z. Michael, just you can tell Bill Webb that we gave him some great compliments for this tonight. Right? Crucible Freya. Michael, actually, him and his son gave me my whole own thread on the Frog God Game server, Discord server. Thank you. I did use it tonight. 1,200 pages for that sandbox. Wow, Dale. That's pretty cool.
What is that?
Arden Vool, he said. Which he said Mitra and Set are in that. It's probably a Judges Guild publication. Is that it? A sandbox dungeon? Yeah, I don't know that one. Dale's Roman Empire. Oh. Yeah, it's all right,
Well,
man.
Mitra's it's like a
Mitra's like a benevolent good deity, right?
yeah, lawful good, and I think borrowed from Conan.
Oh, really?
I think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong,
No
but I
one's
think
borrowed Crom yet. I'm surprised.
Mitra is mentioned in, I believe, in the Conan
I did not know that.
story. But
Yeah,
Set
Crom.
is Set is
Set
also.
definitely sets the whole thing. That's the whole temple. That's
Well,
the
I mean,
whole.
in that movie, yeah.
Yeah, it's all set.
But
Yeah. Oh, it's Expedition Retreat Press. Okay. Well, cool. You know, I use their stuff. I've never taken a look at that. So, um,
is it the halls of Ardenvul?
yep. Hmm.
I want to look at that.
Yeah, Crumb doesn't answer prayers. Alrighty. So we got a lot to discuss on shout outs here. So, Anna, what are your thoughts in closing?
At that deities and religion and stuff in game is a really cool dimension to have, and not necessary, but I think vital in my games. I really want that. It's like one dimension, one leg that the stands on, that goes everywhere, from reaches from myths and legends and stuff all the way over to specific NPCs and crunch when it comes to spells and all that. So it spans a large gamut of the gaming, from the fluffiest to the crunchiest bits, so to speak.
Uh, and you can just have fun with it, right?
Yeah,
Like you said,
you should have fun with it. Yep.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely.
And
I
don't go around inserting too many deities personally into the game, so to speak.
Go ahead, Tim.
I plan on putting more of them in a culturally or local lord, the lords and
Yep.
the powers that be supporting certain ones.
Hmm.
So it helps your culture stay organized and have an organized society if that's what you want. And it also helps you control if you have that. So some of them are going to definitely want to control. And of course, if you're not part of that religious group, then you are not appreciated. Just to add some extra extra problems for people.
Yeah. So,
For characters to overcome.
well, early on, Tim, I told everyone I added Hecate in for the Warlocks, Hecate
Oh
and
yeah.
Cernus. Okay, both. Is it
Hecate.
uh, the Wild Hunt fits perfectly in with the Warlocks. So yes, and that's part where we're going. What's up, Greg? With it, and
I
just want
think, well,
good.
literally, I was just thinking Hecate is referenced in te- I think the Tempest, Shakespeare's play the
In the
Tempest.
Tempest, yeah.
Yeah.
Did not know that either. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Goddess of the Moon and Magic, evil. Yeah, Greg. So Hecate is my warlocks in my game, which are at odds with good witches and evil witches. So I always like
But
three different.
she has a neutral she has a neutral manifestation. Come on.
Well, no, see, she's from the nine hells according to the Deities and Demigods book.
Oh well, what do they know?
So, yeah, and the first warlock they came across Saturday's game, if you haven't seen it, which was hysterical. Um, yes, I named the character Torkney, which is Coco's name Courtney, all mixed up. Yeah, so it's yeah, and they were going to sacrifice a witch as they're trying to get power, and I used a Bavanshi from there, and not a Banshee, but a Bavanshi, which is from the background. It's from the Scottish Isles, and it's not undead. It's not undead. It's more of a creature that sucks the blood out of you, but it's a living. It was fun. Yeah. The Bavanchi she's gonna sacrifice a witch too, but yeah, good stuff. Yeah, good times though on that one. It was a blast for that. So, but from that, more deities coming in, deities from when we were kids, still have, and just to say, hey, sure, Greyhawk, you can do whatever you want with it. Plus, for other settings, Tim's brought the American Indian in. Mine's mostly Norse, Finnish, and Celtic, in that I've added in, and some Forgotten Realms deities, which of course they're going to steal from us. We're going to steal from them. So, yeah. Tim, How's that double header looking for a week from Saturday on the 29th? Any idea?
What are you talking about? You talking about my game?
In the morning of, yeah, because I had a
Looking
game that
good.
night. What's that?
Looking good.
It is? Okay. Well, then you got to give me some more details on that. So well, let me bring up the shout outs. All right. So you're going to be DMing Saturday morning, the 29th.
Saturday morning.
Beautiful. I love to hear that. That is awesome. Good. And we'll continue
It'll be time for Divinity to kick some ass.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, that would be a good thing.
If you find a little help from your friends.
I need the help. Yep, absolutely. Let me bring up some things here. And I already got, so looks like I got the cast set for, well, casts are setting up pretty quickly here, so it's really good. Wait, am I missing something? I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself. Excellent. Excellent to hear. Hey, Death Ray, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thank you.
I will need to confer with you about what your plans are for Rory ahead of time.
For who?
Rory.
Oh,
your sea mage on loan.
My sea mage. Oh yeah. I thought you meant Rory from
I know. That's where I got the name from.
Yeah, I know. I realize that now. I was like, what the? So definitely we can do that this upcoming weekend or whenever. So Anna, what's up with you?
I'm working on a secret project for GaryCon at the moment, so nothing about. I posted a little about the update about missile weapons and stuff in Hawktails is on my
cool.
Patreon site. It will be available for everybody. Maybe it is already. Hang on a second. It was. Let's see here if.
I got the email on it. Yeah, it was pretty detailed.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, yeah, I put the link to my Patreon blog there. So, yep. I'm also going to update my website and stuff. So, yep.
So at Page, we'll be able to shoot some people then.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yep. Mm-hmm.
I like bows.
Yep. Yep. So there are rules for bows and crossbows and even little. But so I try to make them. There are more rules for them now, cooler rules, so to speak. So you can do more fun stuff with them. I didn't detail all the feats. That I'm going to be part 2 on what you can do. Especially the bow has some cool feats that you can dominate the battlefield with, and crossbows also have. With the bow, you have that you can use threat range out to your short range, which can be really useful. And you can also do like hail of arrows and stuff like that. And crossbow has that you can double your both crossbow and bow have that you can double your short range. And the crossbow also has that you can lay down prone and triple your short range, and that's great for sniping because that means that you can snipe several hundred feet out and hit things. So those are a couple of cool. Yeah, repeating crossbows. I didn't put rules in there. I was looking both at repeating and double crossbows, so you can stack them on top of each other, so to speak. Because I've seen versions of them both in fantasy and some real from medieval times. The repeating crossbow is kind of from my understanding, a bigger version of a hand crossbow. So it's a tiny light crossbow that is bigger in format that you can then easy to load faster, so to speak. So I'm going to make a version of that too. So it's a big, clumsy, bigger, clumsier version of a hand or a light one that reloads faster but shoots lighter bolts.
That's funny you mentioned that, Michael.
Yep. So that good point. So I'm going to add them in too. So yep. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that remember the repeating crossbow from the guy from Hawk the Slayer, Tim shot 6.6, right?
Yeah, a real one would be. It sounds like something that's good to have in the defense, but to haul it around sounds like a problem.
Yeah, and crossbows in Hawktails are the ultimate sniping weapon.
Right.
And they're really good if you have cover and you shoot. It's like single target. They can do a lot of damage per bolt.
Yeah.
Bow has meaning the biggest strength of a crossbow is that they do tons of damage per bolt. But the strength of a bow is the rate of fire, so to speak.
Yeah.
So you can dominate a much larger area. So if you want quick coverage of a lot of things all around, get a composite longbow. That's kind of the average of everything. The longbow has a steadier aim, so has longer range, but a less punch, so to speak, because it accelerates the arrow slower and better, so it's more steady, so you can actually shoot longer. That's what I put in there. But the composite bows are for the same size. They have a stronger pulls, so to speak. But the problem is that they also make the arrow less steady. So you pack a bigger punch than the regular bow, but you have a shorter range a little bit. So those are the thing. But also bows have the same base damage. It's a D8 base damage on all the sizes, from short bows to great bows. But the crossbows shoot a heavier bolt for each size. So the small ones are D4, the hand, and the light is D6, the medium is D8, and a heavy is a D10. So they do a bigger punch but they take longer to load. And they're big and clumsy to carry around. But they are the ultimate sniping weapon. So yeah.
Are you on? We're on together on Wednesday. Are you on
Yeah.
on
Friday? That's the
Friday?
plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
That's the plan. Yep.
So I just want to share this stuff. Okay. All right. So real quick here, Michael Z's like, when's your turn? I always just got to plan ahead. So I ordered today new T-shirts, because someone requested. I got a bunch of the new T-shirts, cards, a new banner with a 46 on it, and my cards with a 46 on it. So they're coming for next year. So
Yep.
always thinking ahead. Yeah, everything's got to change to the 46.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, Greg Rage. That's right about crossbows or direct fire, because the ammunition is heavy. I have that bows are direct fire at short range, but at long range they're indirect fire, and that is a big thing. If you shoot in the forest or indoors or something like that, you need the arc, so you need at least half the distance you're shooting at hiding clearance. So if you shoot at 600 feet, the arrow is going to go 300 feet up in the air and down again, which means that you can't shoot beyond short range in a dungeon or in a forest or anything like that. So that's something that is rarely mentioned in normal D&D rules and stuff, but I have it in Hawktails that short range you shoot directly, but crossbows shoot directly even at long range. That's why their long range is shorter. Than the bow has much longer long range than the crossbow has, but crossbows have longer short range than a bow. So because they have a more flat trajectory because they have a bigger punch. Yep.
The limiting factor on the crossbow is their power stroke is so much shorter than a bow that it can only generate so much velocity, but it can push a lot of weight.
Yep.
At that velocity. So
yep, exactly. They're a bit like composite bows are a little bit more like crossbows, but than regular bows are even more flexible and have a longer pull, so to speak, but not as extreme as crossbows are very extreme in that sense. Yep. And that's why they're tricky to load. And also they come with a strength rating. So in order to load a crossbow, they come with a +1, +2, +4, +5, but that means that they do that many additional damage dice. So crossbows for really strong folks are really, really powerful. So it's not for the weak, so to speak. It's for the strong ones. So yeah.
Tim, I remember those. They were pound weight crossbows in freaking Aftermath, and they were so deadly.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that there was the 200-pound crossbow that blew Mark's character's arm
right
off.
off.
Right. We had to be amputated.
Yeah. The arbalest I have in Hawktails under siege weapon, and they require each siege weapon requires a number of actions. Like some of them might be 4 or 5 or 10 actions to load and then fire. So that means that they normally require a crew of people that do the so there's like So some of them might require 3 actions or something. So if you're a crew of 3, then you can fire once a round or something like that. So they will require usually crew, and they will also require proficiency. Otherwise, you will be slower in loading and accuracy and stuff. So
And he became a
yeah.
heroin addict because he was
Yeah, you only had
Uh-huh.
3 doses of heroin, and
talking
we
about
used it
Tim's
as the
Aftermath. I'd
anesthesia.
love to stream an Aftermath game one
Yeah.
day. That'd
We're
be
we're
so
gonna do it
freaking
because
hysterical.
we're gonna do it. We're
All
gonna
right,
do it.
because that would be
Yeah.
so hysterical, man. All right, so here's
We're-
what's going on. Earth Journals
Mhm.
31 through 34. We're going to try and get through 4 of them on
Yep.
Wednesday. Gary Julian will be on with us, okay?
Oh,
Because
good,
he's got
good, good, good.
a lot of stuff on
Yep.
there. Thursday, Iron Fury. So I think I'm looking to have Walt and Alan because Tom's on vacation. Cleansing Redemption. We're going to go. This group is Greyhawk. Iron Fury's a Greyhawk group, and this involves Rennie. So it'll be a little quick. It's a one-shotter because we're not going to be on the week after with Thanksgiving. So a one-night adventure for them in Greyhawk, and then Saturday's game. Rob, the DFCC returns. The dual-fisted communist checkers return on Saturday at 11. Add Mike Disney. Mike is in. So we got Bella and Vi and Phantom and Mike so far. I may add 1 or 2 more to that as we're going. Yes, the DFCC Dwarven Memories is the name of the adventure, and that will be on Saturday at 11. Let's see what I have out further. Okay. So the Saturday after is a doubleheader. I don't have the banners yet. Tim's game in the morning, City State, and then at night, either 6 or 7 p.m. I'm not sure. Ed Greenwood will be playing. Ed Greenwood, Bella, Curtis, probably Brett, Tony, Winzo Brill, Jeremy, and Eric Boyd in the Rescue of Ravalantar, and that'll be on Saturday. But on Sunday night after this is the special Gabbin, the in question character Q&A, where everyone will be in character. So Ed's in on that too. Ravalantar will be here answering your questions. So will Fritz Winchester. Yes, and so will Fritz. Mike, good timing. I'll go back one screen, Mike. I didn't add you because I didn't know for sure, but you will be added to this, and that's
Awesome.
that's Dwarven Memories Saturday morning. The DFCC is back. Yeah, but yeah. So and I'm gonna have those 2 will be the whole time. I'm gonna have probably some other people who it's got to be in my campaign, obviously. But play their characters in and out. Yes. Yeah. You want Murdoch? You want to be Murdoch that night? Murdoch the Mighty?
I don't know. I gotta like rework those accents for all his different personalities.
Yeah. So this is all through the holiday. Cause so I got all the time because my wife is going with her best friend Diane to Aruba.
It says September 30th.
That's right. Yeah, 2 Sundays after Thanksgiving. That's right.
It says September.
Oh shit! I was rushing. November 30th. Sorry, I'll just make that change because notice I'll have other pictures in there. I was rushing to get this done tonight. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's November 30th. Yes. And we'll get whoever we'll have other people who have characters in the Q&A, an hour 1, an hour 2. It'll be fun. And if you want to ask questions,
he'll be safer than
awesome.
Fred the
It'll be
Farty.
hysterical. What's that, Fred the Farty?
He'll be safer than Fred the Farty.
Well, a little bit, right?
Yeah,
so,
Murdoch.
Yeah. And then the week after that,
oh,
the 4th of December is the 4-year partner anniversary stream on a Thursday night. So there you go. I got a lot going on. Lots and lots of stuff going on between now and then.
I do want to say, I think it was Rob Phantom NJ said he'd be disappointed. So my next adventure after Smoke on the Water is Fire in the Sky.
Okay.
That's the name of it, Fire in the Sky.
And that is for which group?
For your city state. That's
City State.
Release. Yeah. I just
okay.
Because the last one was Smoke on the Water. I think he said I'll be really disappointed.
Yeah, well,
the next one isn't.
Yeah. challenge. Yeah, smoke on. Yeah, sinking in the water.
Well, there was smoke first,
Yeah.
and then there was sinking.
Yeah.
But this is fire in the sky.
Is your daughter playing?
Don't know yet. She'll be in the neighborhood, but
Let's hope. That'd be fun.
yeah,
Should be. Yeah, that'd be good.
she's not taking the train. She has her car, so she's mobile. So who knows
Awesome.
what she'll be doing?
All right, let's see here.
It might be mother-daughter time, so that way,
Troll Lord still on? We're gonna be rating in the Troll Lord tonight. All right, so let's do the giveaway. See who wins, and we'll rate in Troll Lord games. Okay, last exclamation point drawing to
Yeah.
get in, please.
if
Testing
you could
D&D
keep
Reaper
an eye on it.
giveaway, and then we're onward to see you in 2 nights. So lots and lots of content coming next 2 weeks. Stacking it in, packing it in. Oh, lots of streams. Winner tonight is. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. Set. Caesar. Caesar. As long as Caesar's on. Caesar just won over the weekend too. Caesar's in. Okay, I see Caesar on. All right. Caesar won. All right, I will get him one of these reprints. All right, so the new T-shirts, I plan on selling them. I just got to make the money back, plus it charge you shipping or whatever. We'll talk about that later. But that stuff, we got a lot going on. So Anna, thanks, fun discussion. Tim, thanks for hopping on.
Oh, thank
Tell
you.
us,
Yeah,
yeah,
fun.
appreciate. Tell us telling us the details, Tim, about all the American Indian mythos. I did not put 2 and 2 together, so I really appreciate you doing that.
Sure.
Say hi to Troller Games. Steven Chenault and crew are playing in the game, and Chuck is playing, so he's doing better. Crane's playing, and she rated into us recently, so say hello to the whole crew over there, and we'll see you all.
Nice.
See you all on Wednesday night. Only one night gap with this. With us doing it on Mondays. So, but that is this upcoming week will be a Sunday. Hitting the wrong button here? Probably, yes. All right. Always hit the wrong button. Boom. I gotta find them. Push them up right at the top. There we go. They have just chatting and they're in a game. Gotta change that. Remember, Darling's on, Agora Quest on, a lot of channels on tonight. So nice, 70 some going in. Appreciate it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you Wednesday night.
Bye.
Sure this went.
It is.
Yes, it did.